Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Talking Scuba. I am Bob Shoemaker.
And I'm Jim Norton.
And this episode is brought to you by all of the cool Talking Scuba gear that we have. We've got coffee mugs, beer mugs, we got stickers,
shirts,
hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts. We got all sorts of stuff. We got beanie hats and the Flex Fit hats. Flex Fit's hats are awesome. I've been wearing mine since we got them a couple months ago.
Cool.
So if you're interested in any of our gear, go to talking-scuba.com and you can pick up stuff at our shop.
Sounds great.
Cool. You been diving at all, Jim?
A little bit. We got to dive in at Baptist.
Yeah, that was a short-lived dive for me, I think.
It was. You forgot something.
I did.
I think I learned something, though.
Yeah?
You can't dive very long without a hood.
Under the ice?
Under the ice.
Yeah. That was kind of an interesting dive. We showed up and no other lakes had ice on them, pretty much.
Nope, everything's clear. We were expecting clear water.
So we showed up, and there was still quite a bit of ice there.
Oh, there was, and it wasn't thin either. There's no way we'd break through it or anything. It was a good inch.
So we were going to just kind of go in from shore and kind of swim out and go underneath the ice.
Yep, Johnny and I ended up doing that.
Yep.
There was a lot of outs. I mean, it wasn't. It was just the center of the lake.
Yep.
They
had a big sheet of ice over it. Yeah. And of course, I forgot my hood.
Yep.
Big dummy. And then, but I still tried anyways.
You did. You lasted about 30 seconds.
And I come out, and I think we have some footage of me holding it, because for whatever reason, my throat hurt worse than anything. It felt like it was closing in on me. So I was like, get me out of here. I didn't like that. So kind of a dumb move on my part, but anyways, it was funny.
Yeah.
We had a good time. What else you been diving?
Oh, we dove some Dive Rite gear.
Oh, yeah. We did do that.
Excellent. Horrible storm we drove through to do it, too.
We did. It was a snowstorm. Of course, it was, what, March or February, something like that then.
One of the last big hurrahs for the winter, I think, for the snow.
Yep. And but we made it all the way over there across the state, and we were able to dive with the guys from the dive shop.
Yep.
And we appreciate all the guys over there, Kevin and Tim and Pete, for having us over there. That was a really great time. But beyond that, I've also been doing some other diving.
Yeah, you went to Florida, didn't you?
Yeah, I did a little diving in Florida. We went down to Key West, and we were able to dive some of the big shipwrecks down there. We dove Joe's Tug, which is kind of a tore-up shipwreck, but there's quite a few fish on it. I think it's about 70 foot to the bottom there.
Is that the one that was in some movie or something?
No, not that one. That was the Vandenberg, which is the video that I just put up. They had that one in, I can't remember the name of the movie, but yeah, they filmed a movie on that one before they sunk it.
Okay.
And then, but the Vandenberg was awesome. I mean, it's got the old satellite dishes and stuff when before it sank and stuff, or when they were still in operation. Those are still there. And
wow.
There's just tons and tons and tons of bait fish on it. Of course, bait fish brings in like the amberjacks and the Goliath groupers.
Oh, you got some great shots of those.
Yeah, the Goliath groupers were super cool. We had, they move around, on the shipwreck. We saw, at one dive, we saw like 6 or 7 of them. Really, really big ones.
Wow.
And when they move around, these bait fish stay with the Goliath grouper, and they basically create their own little moving ecosystem when they swim around. I mean, it's really, really neat. We were on our way up on I think our second dive on the Vandenberg, and we just got to the ascent line. We looked down into one of these big holes, and all these bait fish start running out of there super, super fast. We're like, what the heck? Mm. We look over there, and this big Goliath grouper is in this big mess of fish. He just kind of opens his mouth, and closes it back up and kind of swims back down. I look at the guide, and I'm like, I'm going back down. I want to videotape it. He's like, all right. So I went back down, and I got so nervous going into this hole. I just saw this huge fish get in there, and his head's like this big. So I trying to film it. But there's like, if you watch the film, he cuts through the screen a couple times, but I was just so excited. I hardly got anything off him. But yeah, so we went down, dove with Dive Key West. Check them out at divekeywest.com. We dove the Vandenberg, the Cayman, which was kind of a cool wreck too. And then Joe's Tug, like I said. What I'm working on right now is getting some of that reef footage, because we also did, I don't know, 5 or 7 reef dives or something.
Oh, you did?
So we got a lot of footage from that we're putting together. So
great.
Thanks to the guys down there at Dive Key West. We had a really good time diving on their boat, and a lot of fun.
Great.
So back to what we were talking about earlier, diving with some of that Dive Rite gear. We also did some, besides the rebreathers, we did side mount stuff.
We did. The
So-
side mounts are great.
Why don't we run and look at some of the interviews we did with those guys and some of the dive footage?
Sounds great.
Cool. Hey, everybody. We are here in Flint, Michigan at the Dive Shop with Kevin Stiff, and we just got done doing a really fun Dive Rite demo on a couple of rebreathers and some of their side mount systems. Now, how long have you owned the shop here?
We've been in business for 25 years at the same location.
And you guys have a nice big open space to get all your gear out, and then you also have a pool in the back. That works out pretty convenient, probably.
Oh, it's the greatest thing in the world.
And you got a nice location right here by the main road. Now, I heard you were down in Chicago doing some, was it Dive Heart stuff?
Dive Heart Symposium on adaptive scuba.
And you got to see how, working with the disabled people, you were able to kind of introduce them into a whole new world.
Went there with a little bit of apprehension, came back excited, very excited.
Yeah, it gives us a chance to kind of give back to the sport that we've really taken a lot of, a really enjoyable time. Anyways, we're going to do a couple more interviews with some of the other guys around here. We just got done with our Dive Rite demo. We got to use some rebreathers. That was pretty fun. Thanks for having us out.
Oh, it was a good time to have you guys here. You all got to learn how to dive silently.
Yeah, that was our first time without a lot of bubbles. We were watching Johnny swim around. We had no bubbles coming out here, but I saw some down below his belt coming out a little
It
bit.
was the first time Johnny was quiet all night, too.
But tell us a little bit about Dive Rite and their rebreathers.
Well, the Dive Rite rebreather was called the Optima. It was in development starting in 2004 and debuted to the consumer in 2005. It's being used all over the world. It's being used by not only training agencies, but also police departments, other types of law enforcement agencies. It's used a lot by deep divers, cave divers. It's a pretty compact unit, and it's easy to dive once you really understand it and take the proper training.
What kind of separates it from some of the other rebreathers?
Well, it is a U.S.-based built product. And the big thing about it is that you can go into any authorized Dive Rite dealer and get any part that you need worldwide.
So we can, if we have trouble, we're down in diving some caves down in Florida, we can go into any Dive Rite shop and fix whatever might be the issue with it.
Well, by and large, a lot of parts are not proprietary in terms of hoses, but if you were to break a plastic fitting or something specific to the rebreather itself, they can get the part. And, Dive Rite's open for business 5 days a week. In an emergency, it could be overnighted.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the side mount systems that you guys have.
Well, Sidemount isn't new. It's been around since the early 80s. Matter of fact, Lamar Hires is the first Sidemount instructor in the United States. And he came up with the idea of developing a system that would be real easy for someone to get involved in Sidemount in terms without having to try to go into buying a set of inner tubes to hold the tanks up, trying to jury rig everything to work. It's a complete system. It's basically sold as a package, and it's being used a lot in the open water market in terms of wreck divers. Cave divers, obviously, are going to use that type of system, but it fits just about anybody diving from quarries to diving up here in the Great Lakes.
And you have two different models. One's modular and one is kind of a solid unit, right?
Right. The EXP is an all one piece construction, and that's for someone who wants it specifically for side mount. Now, even that being said, we do have the capabilities of adding a single tank onto the back, or you'll actually fit onto a set of doubles, and it's more cost effective for some people. If you want something that's more heavy duty, that would be the XT. That's a complete modular system. It includes the Transpack. It includes the Super Fabric XT wing designed specifically for side mount. It comes with the ring bungees, and it also has the butt plate and the crotch strap. And all the stuff I'm talking about, you can go onto our website, onto Web TV, and actually watch YouTube videos.
Okay, so we can see the products actually in use and people using them and kind of showing you how to get through them.
Exactly. And for most people, if they don't have a shop that's teaching side mount, it gives them some of the fundamentals so they can actually put their rig together and get themselves in the water and start practicing. And that's the key word, is practicing.
Absolutely. We got to dive these last year, and they are really, really comfortable, very neutrally buoyant. Your buoyancy is super easy to maintain, and there's just a lot of advantages to side mounting. If you guys want to learn more about that, you can go to Dive Rite's website, but you also do other demos around the country, right?
Yes, right now, well, we do them continuously like we did the one here today, but if you want to try the gear out in a quarry or a lake, we have them at Gilboa Quarry, June 11th and 12th, and at Dutch Springs in Pennsylvania, that'll be June 25th and 26th. And if you check our website on the calendar of events, you'll find where we're doing stuff in your area. We bounce it around.
Well, thanks, Pete, for having us out and diving your stuff today. Really excited to do it. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, we are here with Tim Burch, and he's one of the instructors here at the dive shop. Now, you're kind of into the side mounting stuff, right? You do quite a bit of that?
Yes, I really do. I enjoy the side mount versus the back mount. It's a lot easier on your back. It's more weight on your hips, and it really does develop a good trim in your buoyancy. So it's a great program.
Now, are you doing this in caves, quarries, lakes? How do you dive that? Or when is the right application for this kind of equipment?
Well, this equipment can be used, and a lot of guys are using it for traveling now because you can't get twin sets everywhere. So a single set of 80s you can hook up easily. I use mine in the quarry. I train in the quarry. I'm a cave certified diver, cave dive. As a northern boy, we don't get a chance to dive as frequently as our southern friends, but we get down there once a year, and I'm heading down in 2 weeks, and going to be using that same unit down there.
Okay, and then have you done any wreck diving with it up here in the Great Lakes at all?
I haven't yet. I'm still kind of stuck on the back mount. It's a little easier to get in and out of the boat. More people are familiar with it, so you're diving with teams, and they're all in the same configuration. My dive buddy did buy a set or a side mount unit, and now we are going to look at that this year for the first time and actually use it on the back of a boat to do some wreck diving.
Yeah, I think that's one of the interesting things about this. It's not necessarily new technology, but a new application could be, getting it into wreck diving and if we come up with a good system, getting it in and off the boat, I think it's just a great system to dive. Again, working with neutral buoyancy and all that stuff, it's just a great system. So absolutely. I think in the future, it's going to be a great system for us to have to use to dive wrecks.
Absolutely. If we can work out the details in the pitching boat, downing, doffing, in and out of that boat easily, it's a great system. As you said, the trim, it's not just buoyancy, it's the trim. It puts you in the water just exactly the way you want it to be, which gives you a little more leverage to do the things that you need to do as you're diving. And I'm so comfortable, you could actually literally nap in that unit and stay in the same position. A lot of guys have to wear trim weights with twin sets because of the configuration. There's no trim weights there. It's just the way it is, right out of the box. Put it together, jump in the water, and you're just like flying. It's amazing, and it's so comfortable, and it's the weight's off your back. It's huge.
Yeah, it's just a really comfortable system to dive. So if you guys are interested in Sidemount or anything from Dive Rite, or you just looking to advance your training, come up here to the dive shop in Flint, Michigan, and you guys can dive with the best. We'll talk to you guys soon. Catch you later.
We just want to thank our friends, both at Aquatic Adventures of Michigan and the Dive Shop, for helping us out and getting us through all that equipment. We had a really good time with those guys.
Oh, that was excellent.
What was your favorite part of those rebreathers?
Oh, it was the buoyancy was a bit of a challenge at first.
Yep.
It caught on rather quickly, but still at first you had some problems. It was opposite of what we're used to with the open circuit.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to learn to get some of the air out of the loop by blowing out our nose, which will get the air out of your mask,
mm-hmm.
and take it out of the system, and so you can descend a little bit or retain your buoyancy.
Yep. Yeah, and with basically he told us, stop using your breathing for buoyancy.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to keep messing you up. And of course, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, screw you, Pete. I know what I'm doing. Yeah. I go in there and I'm trying to use my breath for buoyancy, just like I always do. And I'm going breathing all the way out, and I go whoop, and I breathe all the way in, and I sink. It's exactly the opposite of what happens.
Yeah.
But what just breathe normally. Stop doing that. Stop skip breathing. Stop all that bad stuff, and you can plane yourself right out and you
Works
actually
well
dive
if you do
right.
that.
Yeah. So that took, like you said, that took a little bit of getting used to. But
it would be good if we could listen to people like Pete.
Yeah, listen to experts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought one of the coolest things was just being able to be quiet and no bubbles. And
that was kind of strange.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to having the air exhaust out by our ears, and it's quite noisy out when we're diving most of the time, unless we hold our breath.
Right.
And so it was different.
Yeah, it was definitely a different experience. One of the really cool things, the other cool things that we got to do was dive those side mounts.
Yes, I love those. We did a little bit of that last year.
Yep, when we were at Aquatic Adventures. Yep.
It was great to do it again this year. It's a nice system.
One of our good buddies, Jeff Fosmo, did pick up one of those units, and he's just loving it to death.
Yep, he
just
likes it a
playing
lot.
yourself out so smoothly. We talked about the side mounts before, but it is just such a comfortable dive with those things. If you're going to go doubles, it's just such an easier way to go.
It's easier because one thing, you don't have to walk around with the tanks on your back.
Yep.
So that really helps
in
that point of view.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my friends, a female diver, and she's like, there's just no way I could ever stand up with a pair of doubles on my back. They're just way too heavy. I have no interest in doing it. But she did try a side mount, and she's like, well, this is easy because I can take one tank, set it in the water, take another tank, set it in the water, jump in, hook myself all up, and then go on my dive. I don't have to worry about having, that excess weight trying to get on and off the boat, getting on and out of shore, on and off the shore, or, cave diving, whatever, the platforms, wherever you're getting in and out of. It's just a much easier system.
It is.
Hopefully it's the wave of the future. I really like diving that way.
Yep, it's great.
So another thanks to the guys at Aquatic Adventures and the Dive Shop. Really appreciate you guys having us out there and doing that stuff. Also, Pete Nawrocky from Dive Rite. We had a really good time with him.
We did.
We got to go have a little dinner afterwards with him and joke around with him for a while.
Yep, Pete's the man.
So what we are going to do now is just try to have you guys help us out just a little bit. We are trying to increase the amount of people watching Talking Scuba. So if you believe in what we are doing, we ask that you just share Talking Scuba. Go out on your favorite social network, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, whatever the other ones are, I don't know. But Johnny gets annoyed with me when I say stuff like that. Twitter, Facebook, whatever you got, go out and share Talking Scuba. We're trying to get bigger so that we can stay around and keep providing all the fun videos and stuff that we do, hopefully that you guys are enjoying. So share us as much as you can, and I think that's all we got for today.
That sounds great.
To the next
To
dive.
the next dive. Oh, that coffee's good, Johnny.
Really?
No.
No!